Everything was about you, your wants, your needs, constantly trying to feed the pain, feed the pain, feed the pain, but it didn't work without God, right? So then that caterpillar decides to go into a cocoon all by itself. Just like each one of you chose to leave the world behind you and go into a cocoon and find out who you really are. And it's that place that makes the transformation. And then when you begin to know who you are, then you burst forth from that cocoon and you become a caterpillar. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that exactly what you've done?
A butterfly.
You know, that's right, a butterfly. So you become a butterfly, not a cocoon.
Some of us become.
So you break out, you're transformed, you're not that little old insect anymore. You're now a butterfly, and you now fly, and you declare God's glory wherever you go. So this is your time in your life to break out and use the tools that you've been given to fly and to be a better person and to be a better mom and to bring God's glory on the earth. Yay. All right, so I felt that we should mark the achievement of this day with the words from 1 Peter chapter 4. 1 Peter is actually talking about what it's like to become a new person or a new Christian and what you're going to face. How it's not always going to be easy, but God's going to be there. So, in verse 1 and 2, it says, "So since Christ suffered physical pain, you must arm yourselves with the same attitude and be ready to suffer too. You have suffered physically for Christ, you have finished with sin. You won't spend the rest of your lives chasing after your own desires, but you will be anxious to do the will of God." Doesn't that sound like where you're going? You're now throwing off the past and saying, I am anxious to do the will of God and not the things of the past. So you found peace. Most of you found a place in your life where you hit bottom. Or you just said, hey, I can't do this anymore. I need help. And so that's what Peter says. That you found that sin doesn't fill you up anymore. All it does is bring you pain. But now that you can fill yourself with God, and you can fill yourself with light, and you can fill yourself with a whole new way of looking at life. So when you leave here, you've been equipped with many new skills. The challenges are not going to end, right? There's still going to be new challenges, especially Janet as she starts college for the first time.
All right.
And I know a lot of you are going to be doing the same. So those challenges will still be there, but the difference is that now you'll be doing it with God. And and there's going to be lots of new issues. Your family and your friends, they may not understand how you've changed. They may not understand that you're a new person. But God's going to be there to help you. And so verse 3 to 5 talks about that. You've had enough in the past of the evil things that godless people enjoy. Their immorality and their lust, their feasting and drunkenness, their wild parties, and their terrible worship of idols. Of course, your former friends are surprised when you no longer plunge into the flood of wild and destructive things like they do. So they may slander you. But remember that you have to face God just like they will have to face God, who will judge everyone, both the living and the dead. So see, you've discovered who you are, and you no longer have to be what everybody else wants you to be. You don't have to be what your parents want you to be, what that boyfriend wanted you to be, what your kids want you to be. You get to be who you are, and that is the greatest miracle of all.
Amen.
So Peter goes on to say in verses 7 and 11, live a better life. So therefore be earnest and disciplined in your prayers. Most important of all, continue to show deep love for one another. For love covers a multitude of sins. Is that the greatest verse in the whole Bible? Love covers a multitude of sin.
Amen.
In the love that you are filling your life with, all the sins and all the people who have come against you, God is going to break that because God is with you, and love covers a multitude of sins.